What's good, everybody? So you've been talking and dating this one chick for a while, and you finally decide that it's time to get freaky and funky in the sheets. Today, I'll be showing you 5 things that you should know before you have sex for the first time. Alright guys, so the first and definitely the most important tip when having sex for the first time is making sure that you're practicing safe sex. Now there's a lot of things that I mean by this. Most importantly, and probably most obviously, make sure that she consents before you do anything. You know, no means no, man. If you wanna stick Hot Wheels up her asshole and she says no, then that means no. And another thing about consent, make sure you're looking up the age of consent in your local area, because man, you can't be fucking kids, man. There's plenty of age and consenting adults that would love your Hot Wheels in their asshole. Another thing that you want to do when you're practicing safe sex is making sure you're communicating with your partner, what kind of diseases you have lurking underneath there, if you have any. Yeah, you want to make sure your partner doesn't have any crustacean-like creatures abiding in the bushes, you know what I mean? And if you want to take it a step further, you can always go to the clinic and get tested for any of these STDs. Now, another thing that I would strongly suggest when you're practicing safe sex is to always use protection. Now, there are a lot of different options when it comes to protection. You can just straight up pull out, but that's a little bit risky. But what I like to use is, I got these Ziploc bags, or they're not Ziploc, but they're the Meyer brand sandwich bags. And these are really nice. It's a one-size-fits-all type of deal because you have the zip enclosure at the top that you can sort of adjust the size to your needs. And also, it's a very roomy fit. And the only problem I do have with this style of protection is it's not very breathable. So a lot of the times before I get on with it, I like to poke just a few holes, just so it's a little more breathable, a little bit more breathable, a little bit more so there's ventilation and it doesn't get so hot when I'm doing it, you know what I mean? So yeah, always wear protection. You can go with the Ziploc bags from Meyer. It's like you get 40 of these motherfuckers for like a couple bucks. But if you want to be a little bit more bougie like that, you can always get condoms. They got Durex, Magnum, whatever. But those are a little bit more pricey, and I know you guys are very budget oriented, so that's why I like getting the Meyer Ziploc bags. Now this tip is for those who like the extracurricular shit, like the BDSM type bullshit, like if you're working with harnesses, if you're working with handcuffs, if you're working with like straps or those motherfucking like things that go around the mouth, or like those medieval those wooden things, I don't know what you call them, like girdles or whatever, like those medieval they got the prisoners. Make sure that you have some sort of safe word. If someone is actually in trouble, that you have a safe word that you can say, and that way just cuts everything off. So yeah, the most important thing when having sex is making sure you're taking the proper precautions to make sure everybody is safe. Alright guys, for the second tip is I would strongly suggest to be using some sort of lubrication whenever you're having sex. Now the reason that I would personally suggest using some form of lubrication is because 1, it feels nice as fuck, and 2, it prevents chafing and infections. So for the first type of lubricant that I would personally suggest is some form of vegetable oil, whether that be rapeseed, sunflower seed, peanut oil, canola oil, olive oil, any sort of vegetable oil of that nature. The reason why I like to personally suggest vegetable oils of that nature is because 1, they're nice and slippery if you like that smooth, that fast, quick, slippery sort of a motion. And second of all, it's all natural and it's good for your skin. So for the next kind of grouping of lubricants, I'd say is if you want something a little more viscous, something with a little more tug, something with a little more friction, if you like to take it nice and easy and slow, is I would personally suggest either Greek yogurt or peanut butter. You can eat it tastes good. Second of all, if you want more of more of a slow and steady, smooth and creamy type of feel, then these are good options for you. Now, if you're not comfortable putting food on your body, you can always go with something like Vaseline. Vaseline provides the same sort of tug, the same sort of creaminess of the peanut butter and the Greek yogurt, but it's not food. So, you know, if you're not comfortable putting food on your body like that, then Vaseline's the way to go. Now, for the third tip that I have for you guys today is, before you actually start having sex, is you want to make sure you're doing a little bit of foreplay beforehand. You know, foreplay is almost like the appetizer. You know what I mean? Like, you got the sex, which is like the main course, the main entree, but then you got the foreplay, which is like, you know, it sets you up for that main course. Now, when people hear foreplay, they think of like the classic things, you know, like blowjobs, hand jobs, kissing, making out, cuddling, things like that, sexy talk. But foreplay, you know, it's the word that it is. It's foreplay. So you can pretty much make it anything that you want it to be. Like me personally, I like to play with my Hot Wheels for a little bit. You could play like Chinese checkers, Minesweeper. You know, you can play a little hopscotch, a little Foursquare, a little basketball. You know, things like that to set the mood for the sex and sort of build up to that main entree, you feel. Speaking of setting the mood, the fourth tip that I have for you guys today is to set a romantic, peaceful, and sexy environment. Now, there are a few things that you can do to set a more romantic atmosphere. First thing being is to have a bunch of candles, dim the room a little bit. I don't personally have any candles, but I do have a wax warmer, which, you know, pretty much achieves the same thing. It smells nice and it also gives a nice romantic glow. Another thing that people like to do is maybe share a glass of wine or two. I personally am not really a wine drinker, but I would strongly suggest, if you want a romantic drink, you know, having a couple glasses of soy milk with your partner. And then another big thing that you can do to set a romantic mood is to have some music playing in the background, some romantic music. So I like romantic music. And then the last thing that you can do to set a more romantic atmosphere is through your clothing. I don't got any sexy clothing or lingerie or anything like that, but I do got a traditional Indonesian pattern shirt that's kind of sexy. So you can also set the mood through clothes. So yeah, that is the fourth tip, is to try to set a sexy, romantic atmosphere. So for the fifth and final tip that you want to do before you have sex is to try to get some practice in before you do it. So basically what I like to do is go on Pornhub, you know, pull up my favorite videos and then just see what the porn stars are doing and just trying to replicate them in real life with using pillows as practice. So basically what you want to do is just get some pillows like this and just sort of practice the movements, you know, just sort of practice the movements and see, you know, what feels good, what looks good. And that way, by the time you actually do it, you're ready to go and you're ready to rock and roll. Yo, what the fuck is he doing? Yo, what the fuck are you doing in here, bro? Hey, man, I can explain, man. I can explain. Just get the fuck out of here already. Just get out, man. Fine. Man, I was only trying to make a video. Come on, man. Didn't mean anything by it. Alright, that should be it for today's video. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content, and share with your friends. Get the fuck out of here already. I'm going. Jesus Christ. You know, you want to make sure that your partner doesn't have any, you want to make sure that your partner doesn't have any, crustacean-like creatures, you want to make sure that your partner doesn't have any, crustacean-like creatures, you want to make sure your partner doesn't have any crustacean-like creatures. You want to make sure your partner doesn't have any crustacean-like creatures abiding in the bushes, you know what I mean?